Okay, so everyone find yourself in a tall, supported feeling seat. Remember, it doesn't really matter what that looks like, but focus on what it feels like. You want to find something where you feel long all the way from your tail to the crown of your head. So if you're in a seat, you might consciously like shift the booty meat behind you a little bit more so that you feel like your sit bones are really in contact with what's underneath you. And then reach up through the crown of your head. Everyone tuck your chin down and back. Maybe you roll your shoulders down and back. My shoulders are always trying to help for no reason, right? So encourage everything to come into anatomic neutral, whatever that looks like for you. It might look different from my body. Legs can be long, legs can be crossed. See if you can focus in on your pelvis and imagine it's like a bowl full of water, and see if you can tilt the bowl forward so the water would spill out of the front a little bit. It might feel like you're poking your butt out behind you. That's okay. Good. And then hands are resting either on the floor next to you or on your lap. You could do palms face down if you want to feel a little more grounded and secured and shut off from external input today. You could do palms facing up if you want the opposite, if you want to feel more open, more awake, or more receptive to exterior. Okay. Or you could do one of each. Who doesn't want the balance, right? And then let your gaze go forward and slightly down. Find something that's not moving where you can focus your attention and lock your eyes on that spot, but also subtly remove tension from the eyeball muscles. So your vision might even go a little blurry. Smooth out your forehead, smooth out your eyebrows, release tension in your jaw to any extent that you can. You might even swallow, let your tongue come off the roof of your mouth, coat your tongue in saliva in the bottom of your mouth, and part your lips and your teeth very slightly. All of these things that we do with the face and the sense organs are just signals to the nervous system to say, hey, it's okay if you want to try to approach a more meditative state of mind. Okay, now you're in a seat, a yoga seat, all of that. So now stay and start to ground and center yourself using your senses. So notice what you see in your field of vision, whether your eyes are open or closed. Notice where the doors and the windows are in relation to your body. Notice where the other people are in relation to your body. Notice all the noises in the space besides my voice. Bring your awareness to your own personal bubble of space. Get a sense of what's immediately in front of you and to the sides of you and behind you. Notice where air touches your skin versus where clothing covers your skin. Notice the weight of your body on your seat. See if you can become heavier in those places, maybe just 1% more. Notice your spine again. You might readjust to find more length or to get more comfortable. Try not to work too hard as you just stay here and notice the parts of your body that are moving as you're breathing. Just watch the air coming in and out of your body. Use your breath as an anchor for your attention. You can't breathe in the past, you can't breathe in the future. You can breathe right now. So it's a really great tool, a single pointed focus, a drishti for your mind anytime it's focusing on the past or the future. And let's stay with the breath a little bit extra today since we're focusing on working with our mind, not changing it or controlling it, but noticing the mind and the thoughts so that we can better navigate the world around us. Start counting the timing of your inhales and exhales. Don't change anything at first. Just notice which one is longer. Maybe they're the same. Pay extra attention to the pauses at the top and bottom of the inhale and exhale. Maybe yours is half a second long. Maybe it feels comfortable in your body to prolong the pause at the top of an inhale or prolong the pause at the bottom of an exhale. Just notice what's natural for you at first. And then experiment with me and see if you can even things out a little bit. I'll count for you. We're going to do a count of 4 inhale and 4 exhale to start with 2 seconds for each pause. But if it ever becomes uncomfortable, you just let it go or you do what works better for you instead. Good. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause 1, 2. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Pause 1, 2. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause 1, 2. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause 1, 2. Keep going. Don't worry if you're doing it right or perfectly. Just notice any effects on your body. And maybe you stay with this cadence 4 in, 2 pause, 4 out, 2 pause. Maybe you start to extend the exhale a little bit longer. So maybe you inhale for 4, pause for 2, exhale for 6, pause for 2. If you wish, you can try that now. Finish the round that you're on. And then return back to your natural passive breath and notice anything left over so far from your practice. Good. Next time you breathe in, open your eyes if you haven't already. Take in the room around you again. It might feel or look a little different. That's normal. Just be aware. Always, as usual, shift in your seat or do what you need to maintain, at least a moderate amount of comfort and avoid as much pain as you can. You can always keep switching your legs in and out. And let's get going with the movement if you wish. If maybe that's enough yoga and you just want to stop there, and that's okay. Okay. If you want to keep moving, scoot forward towards the edge of your seat if you're in a chair so you have more room behind you and to the sides of your body. Good. And next time you breathe in, really reach the tail down for the floor and reach the crown of your head up towards the sky. Chin down and back again, really pulling the shoulders down and away this time. And maybe you release your hands from your lap or from your chair and consciously reach them out away from your body. You could even squeeze your fingertips together and act like you're reaching past your fingertips. This might already feel like a lot. Just stay in the shape and notice what's happening. Good. Next time you breathe in, reach your arms all the way around and up. Some bodies like to touch at the top, some bodies look up at the top. And then as you exhale, just let them come down. Good. Dynamic breathing, trying to match up the movement with your breath. So inhale to lift. Try not to reach the top until your lungs are full. And then exhale down. Try not to reach the bottom until your lungs are empty. 3 more like that. Take a break or last one. Good. Place your hands back on your lap. Inhale, get tall through the crown of your head. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. And you could stay, or you could tilt your nose down towards the floor. Take a breath. Inhale, look forward first, and then lift the head back to the middle. Exhale, other side. Maybe try what you did on the other side. Everything's optional except your breathing. When you're ready, come back to the middle. Exhale, look to the right. So turn your whole face towards the right side of the room and pretend there's like a marker on the tip of your nose. If it feels too strenuous in the back to stay upright this way, you could bring your hands slightly behind your body onto your chair or the floor and draw circles one way and then the other. Now's a good time to switch directions. Try not to force it, but do explore your range of motion here. See if you can find the edges. When you're ready, inhale back to center and then exhale other side. Still long through the top of the spine, shoulders down, back away from the ears. And if you drew circles on the other side, try it here too. And go the other way if you haven't. Notice the difference. And remind yourself, we're not trying to force the two sides to be identical. That'll probably never happen. We're just doing the same practice on each side. Good. Inhale back to the center when you're ready. Exhale, tuck your chin down towards your chest. Keep your shoulders down and back. You might even pinch them a little bit behind you. Option to be still or to drag your chin to one shoulder and then back down through the middle and to the other side. This could be really small. You could be barely moving, or it could look really big. And then pause in the middle once you've done the same amount of turns to each side. And place your fingertips on the back of your skull. To any extent, draw your elbows together in front of you. They might even touch in some bodies. Kind of give your head like a hug. Really squeeze. Pull the elbows together more in front of you and pull your shoulders down back behind you at the same time. Breathe really, really big just into the top part of your back, the upper part of the lungs, maybe even into the sides of your waist and your armpits as well. Good. Next time you inhale, open your arms out to the side, look forward, and then release your fingertips so you're back in cactus. One at a time, swim your shoulders down and back. You might also draw the elbows closer together, like closer to your ribs. If you imagine like looking at yourself from the side, there's a line down the center of you through the spine. See if you could turn the elbows in front of the line and the thumbs back behind the line. You don't actually have to, just see if it's possible in your body. Maybe your eyeballs and your eyebrows lift up. Maybe your head lifts up, heart lifts up. Keep squeezing the shoulders behind you. Option to hold the back of your head and really lift the chest forward and up. Elbows separate, faces soft. Another deep breath. Good. With support, inhale back to the center. And then exhale, forward fold. So any kind of fold over your legs. If you're on the floor and you have one foot in front of the other, we'll switch halfway through. If you're on a chair, option to put elbows on your knees and cradle your head so your head doesn't go below your heart, especially if you have migraines or blood pressure issues. I recommend staying in that level. But if you want, your head could get really low and you could get super heavy. Now, as you squish the front of your body, breathe bigger into the back side of your body. See if you can get your lungs to grow more into your hips. What? If your legs are on the floor, if you're asymmetrical, gently come out and then switch directions with your feet or your legs, and then fold forward again for the next couple of breaths. Just making sure we get into the hips and the back side of the body the same way. Next time you breathe in, lift your head up first and then crawl your way back to a tall spine. Good. If you're in a chair, make sure you have a block on either side of your body. You could do it on the floor too, especially if you're feeling like the leaning over to each side is just a little too much on a tender, low spine. You could put blocks on either side of your body so the floor comes up higher to your hands. Good. Okay, let's do spinal actions. So inhale, get taller through the crown of your head. Exhale, stay and just maintain that feeling of length. And imagine that the center of you reaches down into the ground and up into the sky or the ceiling. Good. Shoulders are down and back. Face is soft again. Jaw is unclenched. Breathing in and out. Notice quickly just anywhere your mind's already been traveling back and forth. And remind yourself that that's normal. We're moving the body so we can use it as an anchor for attention to stay present-minded focus. You'll do it 1,000 times, okay? Inhale, get taller through the crown of your head. Exhale, round your shoulders forward, pull your belly button in towards your spine and let your head get heavy. You might tuck your tail a little bit too, but round your shoulders more than you tuck your tail. Next time you breathe in, pull your belly forward again, chest forward, gaze and nose goes forward and maybe up. Squeeze your shoulders to your hips. Back and forth. Again, see if you can match up your movement with your breathing. So don't get to the tippy top of your back bend, your cow pose, until your lungs are so full, no more air can fit in there. And try not to get to the bottom of your cat pose, your forward rounding shape, until your lungs are super empty. Pull your belly button in towards your spine to help empty you out more. Back and forth a few more times. Finish the round that you're on. And then come back to a neutral spine when you're ready. And let your hands come off your lap and down to your sides. And we'll go side to side now. So identify your right arm. You can give it a little wiggle if you want to. Next time you breathe in, bring your arm either out to shoulder height or up above shoulder height. If your neck and your shoulder are tender or you have an injury, maybe stay at shoulder level and bend the elbow and turn the hand up. That's always an option. If you really want to work hard and you have no pain or injury here, really squeeze like Barbie hands, squeeze your fingertips together, straighten the arm all the way, and squeeze the bicep into the ear without pushing the head over to the side. Good. Make your choice. And then again, separate yourself from the middle of you, reach up higher, separate the shoulder and the hip apart. Exhale, lean over so that your left fingertips touch down to something, the floor or your block. Now, you could also put the palm down. Some bodies like that. You could start to bend your elbow. You could reach further away. There's a lot of options. Stay here for a few moments. So pick something that's not so strenuous that you can't stay for like 5 breaths. Does that change what you were going to do? And then notice what happens if you reach more at a diagonal with your heart pointing down to the floor. See if you can get into a different spot of your low back. Keep both hips glued down. Just keep noticing what you're noticing. Head can look forward or down, whatever's more comfortable. Some people look up, I guess, if you wish. Before you come up, push into your feet in your seat, lift up on your crotch and your belly muscles for support in the low spine, and then inhale, come all the way back to neutral. Exhale, release. Those flushing feelings, the tingling, the temperature changes are all normal. Just notice what's present and breathe. And now we'll do all of that on the other side. So identify your opposite arm and decide. Now, it might look really different, especially if you have had an injury. So make your choice on this side that works best for you. Glue both of your hips down into your seat. Lift and separate the shoulder up away from the hip. The arm doesn't even have to be involved. You could put it behind you. Still make length between the armpit and your hip crease. And then lean over a little or a lot. Fingertips down first, maybe your palm, maybe you really reach away or you bend into it. Relax your face more. Breathe bigger into the sides of your ribs where you feel a lot of sensation. That tension, the stretching that you're feeling, those are the intercostal muscles. It's like a basket, a woven basket of muscles holding the rib cage together. So you're creating more space. Doesn't have to feel good, but if it's super painful, back out a little bit. Maybe you change the vector up and reach at a diagonal here too. Good. Before you come up, push into your feet, belly in and up, then inhale your way back to a tall spine and exhale, lower your arm down. Take a breath, notice what's left over. Okay, let's do a twist too on each side. So if you're in a chair and both feet are on the floor with the knees bent, you could simply inhale to a T shape and exhale twist. You can do that on the floor too if you wish. Or you might try something a little different today. So maybe the left leg goes long and the right knee stays bent, and you can kind of hug the knee or hold onto your pants to help you stay tall and upright. 2 different ways to twist. I know we've talked about this before, but just a reminder, you could do an open twist. Like if you don't want to compress the front of your body and like squish yourself, you don't have to. This is a closed twist where you're twisting towards the bent knee. You could do an open twist instead where your belly and your chest and your lungs have a lot more room and you kind of open away from the bent knee. And then your hand can come back behind you, fingertips, palm, or you can reach away. Okay, so make your choice. Maybe you try both, but right knee is bent. Make yourself super tall first. We're always looking for length, even though we're twisting. Next time you exhale, choose your twist and go in that direction. If your leg is long out away from you, your left foot, Flex through the ankle, push through the heel, and pull your toes back towards your body. It might actually look like your foot comes up off the floor. You're tensing so strong. That's okay. See if you can use the arm behind you to leverage yourself longer. Take your nose more in line with your heart instead of looking back. Then take the chin back. Then look back behind you. See if that changes anything. Last big breath here. Breathe big into the sides of your ribs. Awesome. Next time you inhale, come all the way back to the center. And let's switch sides. So right leg goes long, maybe left knee is bent. Unless you're doing both knees bent with the T-twist, you can totally do that and just ignore me here. Inhale for more length, then exhale, choose your twist. Push through the heel of the long leg, pull your toes back towards your body. Length through the crown of your head. Maybe a hand behind you is helping keep you upright. You could let that hand come further away so you're leaning back, but keeping a tall spine so you have more space. Make it work for you. This doesn't have to look a certain way. Chin down and back, then maybe you look behind you. When you're ready, inhale all the way back to the center and let both legs do the same thing. So if you're on a chair, maybe that's both feet on the floor. If you're on the floor, maybe that's soles together with the knees open or something I didn't mention. Take a few breaths in anatomic neutral. Let your spine readjust to everything that you've just done. Good. Okay, let's get into the hips a little bit more. Okay, we've already done like some hip and low back and that sort of thing, but let's specifically target hips a little bit more. So everyone please come to stand. But I want a chair behind you just in case, like as if you're gonna sit on it, just something behind you. So the idea is if you suddenly feel like falling, you just sit instead of actually falling. Please don't fall. But if you do, I'll get you back up. Don't worry. Good. Okay. So this is going to target hips. It's also going to help with strength and balance. It's an asymmetrical standing balancing pose, but also a deep hip awareness exercise. It's very interesting. So let's see what happens. So come to neutral, standing in front of your chair, feet underneath your knees, knees in line with your hips, shoulders stacked on top of your hips, facing forward, arms are down, palms facing forward, chin down and back. Notice your different relationship with gravity now that all of your weight is centered just on the feet, and see if you can find where you have equal weight between the toes and the heels and the right and the left side. Good. And then without holding the baby, without shifting the hips way off to one side, simply release the weight out of your right foot. So just canter the right foot and keep the toes on the floor. Good. Some people will stay here and practice lifting weight out of the feet by just coming onto a tippy toe like a ballerina, and or lifting the foot completely off the floor. And that could be pulsing up and down, right? Or it could be lifting the knee to hip height and keeping it there. Notice what happens if you flex through the lifted foot, you push through the heel and draw your toes back towards your body. It should feel a little different. I'm not saying it's better or worse. Just notice. And remember, with any kind of balancing pose, it's always better to have our gaze forward, locked on something that's not moving. Okay, stay here. Take your right hand to your pant leg or your right knee. Staying tall to any extent, squeeze the hip and the buttock on that side and open your knee out to the side. It's okay if you're pulsing, and it's okay if you're hovering. If you fall, good. Come back in. Set yourself up for success. Pick your drishti or gaze ahead of you and keep breathing. Okay, next time you inhale, bring your knee back in front of you. Try not to put it down if you're lifted, and then switch hands. So again, we're twisting towards the knee, and you might pull it a little bit across the midline of your body as your chest turns towards the side. Do what you have to do with your hands to keep yourself balanced. You can reach your arm away. You can keep it at your hip or your heart or whatever. Inhale back to the center. Try to keep it lifted. And then exhale, slowly put your foot back down. Notice what is left over. Compare the two sides without judgment. It's not good or bad. It's just sensation. Other side. So now your right foot is your standing foot. Take some of the weight out of your left foot. Maybe the toes stay down. That's good. Really press into the floor. Really lift up from the waist up. Gaze is forward, locked ahead, soft face. Shoulders are down and away, maybe pinched behind you a little bit. See if it helps your balance to imagine like zipping yourself up from the bottom to the top, like stitch everything together. Let distractions be what they are, where they are, and then continue with your version. So maybe you're doing the ballerina with just the big toe down. Maybe you start to pulse, practice hovering. Maybe you lift the knee to hip height and keep it there. Option, no matter where you are, is to turn the knee open to the side now. So you could grab your pants or grab your knee if it's lifted. And then very slowly, with grace and control, start opening your knee out to the side. Squeeze the hip and the buttock to help you do that. Push through the heel, pull your toes back towards your body. Breathe. Maybe if it's too easy, you look away from your knee or close your eyes. And then you fall and come right back in. It's okay. Okay, inhale yourself all the way back to the center. Bring your knee with you and switch hands. And again, twist. So maybe just holding on is your twist. You are twisting through the spine. Maybe you start to pull yourself and twist more towards the bent knee. Your gaze is going to have to move with you. So if you were looking ahead, keep on that horizon, but slowly move your gaze to something off to the side. If you want, you could open your opposite arm away. Try to keep it reaching out of the center of your chest instead of pulling it back behind you to force yourself to twist more. We all have a weaker side and a stronger side. I just fell out 2 or 3 times on this side. It's normal. Notice the judgments that come up in your mind. Label it, okay, that's a judgment, and then come back to sensation. What do you feel? Is it changing or moving? Inhale yourself back to the center. And with grace and control, put your foot back down. Notice what's left over again. Okay, let's do another one, but it's a little more passive. So if you're like cooked, just sit down, okay? If you're not cooked and you want to see what's going on, stay standing, but remember the chair's right behind you, okay? So one more time, take your weight into your left foot, canter your right foot. Bend your standing knee a little bit. And then start to, either with your hands or without, lift your foot up and either cross your ankle on top of your ankle or shin on the standing leg, or you might bring your ankle onto your thigh on your standing leg. Push through the heel, pull your toes back towards your body. Drishti is the same, long spine, gaze is forward. Hands can be at your hips or at your heart, and start to sit down into a invisible or actual chair behind you. Keep your chest and your gaze lifted forward. Instead of looking down, it's going to make you want to tilt and fall down. So gaze is forward, not at the floor. If you come down pretty far, you could hook your foot around your elbow. And then you could put your hands on the floor. And then you could start to straighten your leg with your knee down or your nose down towards your knee. Someone made this shit up, guys, I swear. It's not important. Don't worry about it. Okay, inhale, come all the way back up with as much grace and control as you can muster, and then put your foot back down. And notice again what's left over. Is anyone else like a recovering perfectionist? I'm like, why can't I do that? Okay, other side. So standing leg is your right leg this time. Canter your left foot. You know where we're going. So carefully get yourself to your version of the pose today. So maybe that's ballerina toe. Maybe that's lifting the foot. Maybe you cross at the ankles. Knee is pulling open again like we did earlier. Or maybe you can get your foot on top of your thigh and start to sit. If you fall, good. Just come right back in. That's how we make muscle memory. The shaking and the wobbling has to happen. It's not saying you're weak or unstable. It's a sign of stability. If you come down pretty far, hook your toes around your elbow and then put your hands on the floor and then straighten your leg. Nose to knee. Simple. If your standing leg is still super bent, imagine sitting back farther. And before you come out, remember, gaze needs to go with you. So start lifting your drishti so it's ahead of you instead of down, and carefully bring yourself all the way back up. Notice what is left over. That could be physical sensation, and it could be thoughts too. Good. And if you need to like wiggle it out or like squeeze your toes or whatever you have to do, just do it. Okay, come back to a seat. That could be on your chair or on the floor. And if you're in a chair, scoot towards the edge of your seat so you can wiggle side to side. Both knees are bent, feet are flat on the ground no matter where you are. If you're on the floor, probably bring your hands behind you a little bit. And then start to just take your knees side to side like windshield wipers. Maybe let's do it this way. Stop moving. Back to center. Do it so slow and small that your pelvis doesn't move. So you're only rocking the head of the femur bone that goes into your hips. You're only moving the leg bone side to side. You're not letting the hips come with it. Does that make sense? Try it that way first. Very small, very controlled. Pelvis is not involved. See what your range of motion is there. Might surprise you. It might not be very far. And then if it feels okay in the low spine, start to let the pelvis rock with your legs. And that might still look pretty small, or for some people, the knees might come way over. Keep breathing. Good. And then start to slow that down and come to stillness in the center. Take your time though. Good. And take one of your blocks And place it between your knees, like the squishy part of the low thigh, not the kneecaps, the bony parts. Make sure it's fleshy. Good. And then 1 to 5 pounds of pressure, squeeze in on the block and maintain that squeeze. And then see if you can keep squeezing as you lift your spine up taller. Reach down through your tail, chin down and back, reach straight out of the top of your head. Equal pressure on the block, and just hold for a moment. This is just stabilizing the pelvis and the low spine after all of that stuff we just did. Good. If you want, you could hook your fingers on the back of your thighs or the tops of your knees, and you could lean back for a little bit more core. Soft face, chin down and back, gaze goes forward and up a little bit if you're leaning. Maybe you lift your right foot and lower it back down. Keep breathing. Inhale, lift the left foot. Exhale down. One more on each side, or do both sides at the same time. Still squeeze the block. Zip yourself up from your toes to your face. But soften your face and breathe. And then carefully lower your feet back down. Good. Remove the block. Put your hands behind you. Lazy teenager pose. It's my favorite. You're on a beach. Just hang out. Wiggle your legs. Bump your knees. Swish your feet. Good. Okay. Let's do just one more before we lie down. So if you're on the floor, take the soles of your feet together and your knees open. If you're on a chair, that'll make you want to tip forward and you'll fall. So keep your feet separated, but still open the knees out to the side. Good. Okay. Grab on wherever you're going to grab. So some bodies, that's kneecaps, like tops of the knees. Some people are going to grab their pants. I prefer ankles, but some people grab their toes too. Just grab what you want to grab. And then see if you can find a place where you can be as tall as physically possible, even if that means you're pulling a little bit with the arms. So use your legs as leverage. Soften your face, gaze goes forward, chin down and back, shoulders down and back, belly in and up, squeezing the buttocks and the thighs so the knees come more open. You might feel a lot, especially in the shoulders and the upper back or down in the low spine. Some people will stay. Some people will tuck the chin down towards the chest. Breathe. Inhale to lift your head and face if you haven't already. And then grab onto your knees or your toes with your left hand. Bring your right hand to your right knee and see if you can push a little bit and twist open towards that side. You might even look over your back shoulder. Chin down and back. Yes. Inhale yourself back to the center and switch sides. So grab something with your right hand. Left hand comes somewhere on your left leg. See if you can pull and look in that direction. Inhale yourself all the way back to the center, and now forward fold of your choice. So remember, there's two different ways to forward fold in Baddha Konasana. That's what this is called, bound angle. So some bodies like to round like a turtle shell, and then you really like pull your shoulders back behind you, pull your belly in towards your spine, tuck your chin, and curl inward. Some people prefer a long spine, and that's chest and chin forward with a long, flat looking back. Neither are right or wrong, they're just options. If you are coming pretty far down, take your elbows out to the sides, yes, and then they won't push into your belly and you can come down further maybe. And then just easy, touch the crown of your head to the spot between the soles of your feet. Someone made it up. Just breathe and notice what you're noticing. The shapes are just decoration for the breath. They're not a goal. See if you can breathe so big that you feel like your lungs lift you up out of the pose a little bit. And then when you exhale, you kind of sink back into it. Last 2 rounds of breath here. When you're ready, release yourself all the way to a tall spine again. One hand on each knee, close your legs like a book. If you want to lean back again, bump the knees, swish the feet, lazy teenager. If you want to windshield wiper again, or if you want to be still, make your choice. Good. And then either scoot all the way back in your chair or lay all the way down on your mat for the last few minutes of class. Look for length again. So readjust your clothes or take off your glasses or whatever you need to do to get more comfortable. If you're on the floor, you might bend the knees with the feet flat on the floor and then kind of just push into the feet and lift the hips up like an inch off the floor and let them wiggle a little bit and then set them back down. Do the same with the shoulders, lift them up, a little wiggle, down, head with the support of your hands, lift, maybe a little bit of pull to get length in the neck, and then gently set your head back down. And you should be pretty close to anatomically neutral there. Notice again your different relationship with gravity. Where are you being held up? Good. Bring your right knee back for a hug. Really use the strength of your arms to squeeze your knee into your belly or your chest or your armpit. Option to keep the left leg bent or to let it go long, just for a couple of breaths here. And then switch when you're ready. Relax the sides of your neck, unclench your jaw, smooth out your forehead. Both knees at the same time. So if you're on the floor, bring them both back towards your belly or your armpits. If you're on the chair, though, remember, same pose, but you lean forward and you can wrap your hands around your knees or grab your pants, whatever you want. Head is heavy. Yeah. You can be still or you can rock side to side, forward and back, whatever feels good or necessary. Come to stillness if you're moving. One at a time, put your feet back on the floor. If you're in a chair, lift your torso up so you have a long spine again. Take a really big breath here, bottom to top, top to bottom. Good. For the last few minutes of class, let's revisit our breathing timing and see if it feels different or the same, better or worse or the same now. So breathing neutral, not changing anything yet. Notice how long it is taking you to inhale and to exhale, and how long your pauses are at the top and the bottom. Remember, there really is no right or wrong answer. We're just noticing. You could stay right here, just noticing, or you could try inhaling for 4, pausing for 2, exhaling for 4, pausing for 2. You could stay here, or you could try inhaling for 4, pausing for 2, exhaling for 6, pausing for 2. One more round like that. And then return back to your natural passive breath and notice what is left over from your practice today. Notice your shesha. Notice where your mind goes when you become distracted. Keep bringing your attention back over and over. Good. Notice anywhere your mind might have gone. And then bring awareness back to your body. In, in particular, notice where your body is touching the floor or the chair underneath you. Notice your breath without changing it. Gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes to let your body wake back up. And that can turn into something bigger if you want to roll your wrists and your ankles or stretch or move. Any kind of instinct here is a good idea to follow. And we'll come to seat to end class, but I'll give you that same challenge, which is notice how you normally come up if you haven't already. And see if you can choose a different way or go the opposite direction before you come up. Take your time, move carefully. And look for length again. So don't worry about what the legs look like. Just find length between your tail and your crown. Maybe you roll your shoulders back one more time, unclench your jaw, smooth out your eyebrows one more time. I'll invite you to bring your hands together in a prayer-like position with your thumbs touching your chest. I don't know if we've talked about this. This is called Anjali Mudra, which is your infinite unfolding lotus within. So press your thumbs into your heart. Maybe you bow down towards your heart, acknowledging the wisdom below your brain. And just remember, you have a body, but you're not just your body. You have a mind, but you're not just your thoughts. And you have emotions, but you're not just your feelings. When you're ready, hands can come down, your eyes can flutter open and up. Class is over. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming. I'll turn off the recording, but then if you have any questions or concerns, we can talk now, or you can always email me later if you don't want to talk in front of the group, okay? Thanks, everyone.